All right, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming today. My name is Carrie Horning. I'm one of the Career Connected Learning Specialists with the NCESD 171. I'm super excited to welcome you all back to the North Central Washington Most Valuable Partner interview series. This is being brought to you by Career Connect Washington and the Apple STEM Network. I always like to highlight before we start our show that a win today looks like each of you leaving with a greater understanding of what the services are that are being provided by these community partners and how they might help you or your students or even their families. And then also too, how you might be able to help our community service programs to enhance or continue to provide the services that they do. So all of us at Career Connected Learning are beyond grateful for all of our most valuable partners, and we're honored that they've chosen to spend some time with us. So grab your lunch, sit back, and get ready for an extra dose of professional nutrition. We're going to kick off our second round today with our guest, Alma Chacon. She's the Executive Director of Café. And Alma, like all of our other guests, she's definitely a giver in the truest sense of the word. She studied education at University of Washington. She was a teacher, an administrator. She also worked for OSPI, which is the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction. The pandemic led her work at Café to become a full-time commitment. So she's got very, very limited free time on her hands. But what I did realize yesterday, when I had a chance to kind of connect with her, is that we both have a mutual passion for music and dancing. One of her favorite songs right now is Despacito. And I have to admit, that's a pretty great song. So to kind of get pumped up for today, I put that on YouTube. And the version that I was listening to literally had over 7 billion views. So Alma, I think that's our goal for today, right? We're going to go for 7 billion on this podcast. So welcome. Are you ready to do this?
Absolutely.
Right on. Let's do it then. Yeah. So we still have people who are joining us, but I'm going to go ahead and start with the questions right now. So tell us a little bit about Café and what is your mission there?
Hi. Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation, Carrie. Very honored to be here representing Café today. We are very proud of the work that we're doing. And our mission at Café is we definitely are a nonprofit organization, and we focus on advancing family and community growth through education. And we love to work with partners to maximize our services that we provide here at Café. So working to help our community would be our mission. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, taking a look through the website and trying to learn a little bit about Café myself, I realized that your priorities are strong: family education, community participation, promoting leadership, and environmental justice. How did you come about each of those, and can you give us some examples of the opportunities within?
Yes, absolutely. I'll say a little bit about them first, and then I do have some slides that I will share.
Perfect.
So as far as family education, we saw a big need, especially because a lot of our community are English learners or have another first language. And so Spanish as a first language. And so we wanted to really provide support to not only students, but to our families. And so we started a program called Café University. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. And with that comes community participation. So how do we engage our community so that they get the services that they need? They're able to know where to go, ask the right questions, or to get the answers to some of their questions. So we wanted to engage them and promote leadership at the same time. Prior to the pandemic, we had monthly meetings with our community. And our focus in developing leadership there was we would always get members of our community to be facilitators of the meetings and to stand up and lead us, for example, with the agendas, the Pledge of Allegiance, all the different pieces that go into planning a meeting and implementing or just running through the meeting. So developing leadership. Right now, we are really focused on developing youth leadership and getting them engaged. And so those are kind of the things that we're working on. And with environmental justice, we found that there's a big need for our community to learn about how do we deal with wildfires? What should we know? So we started with learning about wildfires. We had a person that came that really talked to us about wildfires. We had a cohort of like 25 people that went through training, and we are now on year 3 or the 3rd cohort of people going through trainings on wildfire. And so that has all been good. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so I can share some of those
Great.
some of those projects. Let me see. Okay. So this is us right now. And you just mentioned, Carrie, our priorities. So those are it right now. So one of our first activities that we are focused on, that we've been working on for at least 4 years, was Café University. We started a tutoring program with just volunteers as tutors. And so we have expanded because we were able to reserve a grant that really helped us build and develop our program even further. And so we call it Café University. And the reason we did that is we wanted to let every student know, regardless of what grade they're in, what age, that they could go to a university. And if a child is in kindergarten and they're in our tutoring program, they can, since kindergarten, start saying, I go to Café University, because they've joined us for tutoring sessions, so that when they get to high school and they have to start applying for colleges or universities, it's not anything new to them. And we also want to give the same message to our parents. So
yeah, that's terrific. I love that.
Yeah. And so our focus in the tutoring program has been literacy and math. Okay. And those are some of the tutors. As I thought I'd share that picture because, as you know, with COVID, we've gone virtual. Okay. Mm-hmm. So with a school, in working with the school districts, we were tutoring during the day, depending on the model, especially with the hybrid model. And now that the kids are back, then most of the tutoring is done again after school virtually. Nice. And one of the pieces, when we say K to 99, we find that a lot of our community, especially now with COVID, it's important that they have literacy skills, computer literacy, digital literacy. And so we have one of our personnel that works on providing ESL classes, computer literacy classes. And we are just going to begin with a phone digital literacy, because for those people that don't have Chromebooks or computers at home, then we want to be sure that they are able to get access to information by learning how to more utilize their phones. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about how can people help or support, we can always use volunteers. If you're good at using the phones, computer literacy, you can always volunteer with us and help us as we provide support to our families.
Nice. Can I interrupt and ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
So I'm backtracking just a little bit, but you talked about before COVID, when you had your meetings, that you actually encouraged the people attending the meetings to volunteer and participate in them. I think that's brilliant. How did that go?
It was great. It was great. Yeah, people would come and we would meet and get information. And it became a place to build relationships, because we would have a question for people to engage at the beginning, like what do they call icebreakers?
Yes.
Yeah. And so they would get together and mingle and get to know each other. And then we would always start up with a potluck also. Okay.
That's terrific.
So we'd meet, build relationships, have a meal together, and then do some learning, whether it was having a guest speaker come in from an organization, the ESD, PUD, from the school district. So we would bring in different speakers and make it a learning opportunity also. So that went well.
Yeah,
We
that's terrific. So are the meetings virtual now? I think you said yes, but is there still that interaction?
No, unfortunately,
Yes,
especially now because we thought we were getting out of COVID a couple of months ago and that we
yes,
were going to be able to get out and do more things together. But then we're back. Interestingly enough, we are at the same place that we were a year ago, you
yes.
know, and with COVID, because at this time last year, we were focused on giving COVID tests
Mhm.
and flu shots and vaccines. Let's see, vaccines, I can't remember now, but we are at the same place. Now that we have vaccines, we're also giving vaccines and we're back to giving a lot of COVID tests. And that's where we were last year at this time.
Yeah. Wow.
And
Well,
yeah,
that's
so
good
we're,
info too. Thank you for that.
yeah, so we're still virtual. Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Okay. All right.
yeah,
All right. Well, I kind of
but
interrupted. So yeah, please go on.
yeah, no, please interrupt, ask any questions you want. I encourage anyone watching today to go ahead and ask questions if you are just learning about Café today. Or if you have specific questions, you can put them in the chat also, and we'll hopefully get to them. So, so engaging, going back to your question, Carrie. So one way we kept families engaged during COVID time is that we had monthly family math or literacy nights. And so we would invite the parents whose children were attending Cafe University to join us for math and literacy nights. And we did it through Zoom. So again, it's providing that support and then having them join us.
Terrific.
Yeah. And regarding youth leadership and civic engagement, we work hard on getting our young people. Here we had a young man, Aldon Ramirez, who was charged with engaging youth in participating with cafe events, cafe activities, helping people get registered to vote. And so this is another way of developing youth leadership. And another thing that we do is we have a Monday, this has gone on for a full year now. We have a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evening, 7 o'clock Zoom program. It's a live Zoom program on Facebook. And we have, it's called Un Buen Consejo, or kind of a word of wisdom.
Nice.
And we always have, we have a guest speaker that, and right now, because it's COVID related, we have doctors that come in, social workers that come in, educators that come in, and we invite guest speakers to come and give us updates on COVID or the impact that it's having on their organizations, on their services, etc. So, and yeah, and with youth leadership here, every Monday and Friday, it's we have adults that run the program, that facilitate the program, and every Wednesday we have youth that facilitate the program.
Nice.
Just again for developing youth. And here are some of the events. And I guess I wanted to share pictures because I think it gives people a good visual of what we do at events. And what you see people doing are some of the ways that people could engage with us. For example,
Perfect. That's actually going to be my next question. What are you kind of looking forward to in 2022 and beyond? So yeah, share out with us. I love it.
Thank you. And so we formed a quote. I think this is one of the questions you were going to ask me, so I'm getting ahead of the ball game here, Carrie.
I think you're right on track. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we formed a community services coalition, and we invited different organizations and people to join us because we found that many people in our community were doing beautiful things. We were all giving out masks. We were all out giving information to our community about services available, especially during the pandemic. And so we thought, well, why don't we get groups of people that are working on this together and work on the same messaging, kind of provide updates as to what we're doing so that the right hand knows what the left is doing and we can work better as a team.
Exactly. And that's exactly why we're doing these podcasts as well, to let one community partner or one, educator know exactly what the other's doing. So this is perfect. We're right on track. Thank you for sharing all this.
You bet. And so, so we started this coalition And we've been going for a year now. And so we meet twice a month, the first and third Wednesday of every month at 11. And so we invite new partners to join us. And we'd love to have a perspective from all the different fields and areas. Okay, anyone that is working to support our community during this time of COVID, which is pretty much all of us.
Yeah,
for sure. Just to get together, kind of like what you're doing, Carrie. So it's great. So let's see. So here are some of the activities that, as I was mentioning, how can people volunteer or help? What are some of the services? So in addition to our Café University in supporting students and parents with literacy and math and with digital and computer literacy, we also support our community, like right now with getting flu shots and COVID tests. Right now we have a full team that is on the hotline, helping people get registered to go get tested at the Town Toyota Center. So we partner with the health district. So that's kind of what we've been doing all this last 2 weeks. We have a lot of people right now that are needing to get tested for COVID. And so we're happy to be supporting that effort. Excellent. And so we've been doing that for 2 years now. You know, it's
hard to believe.
Yeah. And flu shots today. So see the people in the orange, those are some of our staff and volunteers. We can always just be able to kind of help us guide people through the testing sites, because we invite partners to bring in and share information. And so we have people that help guide. We give out food bags to our families when they come by for their testing or their vaccines. And so we always need volunteers to help us pass out food baskets during this time, to pass out mittens, gloves, winter hats, all information packets. Many of our partners come when we are able to have people outside. But during times of drive-through, they bring us just packets, and then we'll put them either in their food bags and hand them out, or they'll have little separate bags that we give to people. So, nice. So lots to do.
Yeah, so in the chat, I put wenatcheecafe.org. So if anybody wants to get in touch with Café about volunteering, that they can just go to the website and then make contact through that way.
Yes, there is a subscribe button, and if they subscribe, they'll get all of our updates, and then they can also email us through that.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. So regarding environmental justice, our coordinator, Laura Rivera, is actually with us today. So I want to acknowledge Laura. She works with youth, not only youth, but people of all ages, and engaging in the work of wildfire adaptation. Okay, and so this is a team. Last year we worked with the DNR and with wildfire adapted communities in a program called Wildfire Ready Neighbors. And we went up into one of our communities, Woodry Street, and did some work there. And let's see.
Can anyone join that program? When we talk about volunteers, if they specifically have an interest in, the wildfire prevention and assistance, can they specifically join for that?
Yes, absolutely. And I think Laura is on this chat. So if you could put your email and contact info, Laura, that would be great. All right. And yeah, and then, so as you can see, this is part of that team. Again, going back to Woodry Street, I don't have the number, but maybe Laura can put it in the chat. I want to say something like 900 tires were collected and picked up from that community. We thought, oh, maybe we'll get 10, 20 tires. But see that big pile in the back?
Yes. So then how are those collected and then taken care of? Did somebody else have to come in and haul those out?
Yes, we actually, just as the community, to bring in there, because we saw there were quite a few, but we didn't think it was this many. But once we put the word out, they all came and dropped off their tires there. And then I want to say that the Department of Ecology came and picked them up, or Waste Management. Anyway, one of our partners came up and picked them up for free. And we also had a bunch of dumpsters that were filled from just old mattresses and all kinds of things that needed to be thrown away to help us prevent fires.
Yeah.
And that were picked up also during that 1 week time.
That's terrific. Yeah, congratulations. What a great program.
Yes, and we do have a cohort 3 starting. Cohort 3 starting, I think in February, early February. And Laura Rivera would have all that information. So definitely, if anyone is interested in volunteering or in joining the cohort to learn about wildfires and participate, they can definitely get in touch with Laura. And
terrific. It looks like she put her contact info in the chat, so it's there and available. That's terrific.
Yes, wonderful. So, and here is Laura and the team getting packets, evacuation kits ready, first aid kits, because those are some of the things we hand out to families and people as they go through the cohort so that they're prepared for wildfires. Yeah. And also home assessments. Cleaning out the streets. This was during Make a Difference Day last year. We had a whole team out there. Some were at the trail, some were at street, and we had another group. I can't remember where, but we had 3 or 4 groups out doing good things for our environment.
Excellent.
Yeah. And here is another event. We have this person, a great partner from Pierre from Kashmir, who brings repaired bicycles, and he gives it away to people at our events. We have 2 events at Café every month. And so that's, yeah, so I think that if people are interested, they can always subscribe at our website and for our newsletter, and they'll get the dates for our events and they can join us. And if anyone wants to come and help, we get people that adults as well as children that want to learn how to ride a bike and don't have one. So this man comes in and donates bikes, and yeah, just helping the community.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So this was last year at this time. As you can see, this is February 13th. This was our first event last year. And we thought, oh, no one's going to come because it's so cold and there's lots of snow, and we were ready to cancel, but people came. Okay.
I think if you show up, everyone else will too. What's that saying? If you build it, they will come. So
yes. Terrific. And so, as you can see, there's lots of work to be done, especially for every event. This is during the time of a cloth mask, as you can see in the far right-hand corner, cloth mask. Just getting packets ready to give to community members when they come by to the events. Right now, of course, the message that we are giving people is cloth masks are not going to be effective right now. You need to get N95s, which is what we're giving away at this time of the year right now. But again, it just kind of shows you the work that goes into getting this done. And so support is always needed. We partner with like CVCH and Confluence and the Health District. Tomorrow, actually, we have CVCH here giving flu shots.
Oh, terrific. All right. So what time, if somebody wants to come down to receive their flu shot, what time is that happening?
I want to say it's 11 to 5, but I'm going to ask Maria Elena to, if it's different, to put it in the chat. But I want to say it's 11 to 5 tomorrow, and it's here at 766 South Mission Street.
766 South Mission Street.
Yes. And if someone could put it in the chat, that would be great.
And tomorrow is January, I've lost my calendar in front of me. 26. All right, January 26th. Since this is being recorded.
No, today's the 26th. Tomorrow is January 27th.
All right. Excellent.
And also, if for those of you that are watching it live, this Saturday, the 29th, we have the Department of Health caravan here providing vaccines for first dose, second dose, booster to children as well as adults. That's this Saturday from 1 to 5. and that's at 766 South Mission Street. So,
excellent. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and that information is in the chat for those who are here, watching live.
Okay, and then these are just some of the other things. These are just some of the events, kind of just to give you a visual of what we do.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, so with the work of the coalition, consistent messaging has been sí a la vacuna, yes to the vaccine, so that we're all united in that.
All right. And we've got a comment from the chat that says, wow, you all juggle so many events. It's amazing. So I would echo that for sure. Well, let me ask another question of you real quick, because this is one of my favorite questions from the first round that we did it, and you're back. So I'm going to throw it at you too. All of these connections, all of these community events that you're doing, the students that you're working with, community members, is there a story that has kind of stayed with you over time that you can share with us?
Oh, I thought about that and I couldn't come up with one. So I mean, I have many, I think. So I think two things that I'll say to that. One is just being able to support students and parents with the digital technology piece. I think what stands out is having a parent that came by saying we had to go to the park to connect to internet so we could participate, so my son could participate in school.
Yes.
And that was difficult, and so that's part of what drives us to say, how can we support our parents and our students with this digital technology piece that is so much needed right now? The schools are so busy, everyone is working hard. The pandemic is taking its toll on anyone. So how can we work as a community together? And this is one of the ways. So we partner with the Wenatchee School District. And we also have some students from Eastmont, but most are Wenatchee. So I think just building those partnerships and working together for the best of our community.
So the services that you provide, our coverage territory, as we think about the NCESD 171, is really North Central Washington. So, we're up from, the Oroville, Okanagan area, all the way, down here into Grant County. Can anyone reach out? And I know we're running tight. We're about 2-3 minutes left, but can anyone reach out to Café within this general region, or do they have to be in the Wenatchee area?
No, anyone can reach out to us. We go into Okanagan, Douglas, Chelan, and Grant County.
Nice.
And so anyone in those counties can reach out to us. We have partners over in those areas. For example, I was just in one of the PAC meetings with the Tonasket School District, and invited them to submit an application because we give out scholarships every year to high school students going into college or university. So
scholarships. Yes, this is why we bring our educators into these podcasts. I know the students are busy filling out scholarship applications right now. So that's terrific. Thank you for adding that in.
Yeah, so bring it's in our website. The application is on our website. So anyone can help by guiding students to the website if they don't have those paper copies at their schools. So they can go to wenatcheecafe.org and look under Saul Gallego scholarships, and the students can apply right online, or they can print it and send it in, whatever is easier for them.
Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Well, we've got just about a minute or so left, and I'm seeing some, information pop through into the chat. But are there any questions that anybody would like to ask who's attending before we close out today? If you do, you can pop on your volume and speak up, or you can put it in the chat and I'll ask Alma for us. No? Well, I'm going to say, first of all, I'm going to reiterate what we saw in the chat. What the scope of your work is amazing. I feel like we probably could have filled an hour with everything, that's happening at Café in our communities. So number one, thank you very much for doing all of that. Thank you for joining us today at the MVP. series. Again, honored to have you here. And really what we'll do is we'll make sure that we spread the word. We will, take this podcast, we're going to put it out on social media so that other people can see and hear it who weren't able to attend today. And we'll do everything we can to kind of spread the word and let people know just the great work that's happening at Café. So I thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having our Café team who's working very hard. I'm proud of all the work that the whole Café team is doing. And thank you for highlighting us today, Carrie.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm going to add in also coming from chat. Everybody be sure to check out Café on Facebook, Instagram, and of course their webpage. So excellent. Thank you all very much. Amma, you did a great job. And we'll see you next Wednesday when we're back with the North Central Washington MVP series.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.